Hello there. Welcome to Google Ad Manager course. This course is a multi-video course for which you will see all the videos arranged in a playlist. Now, to be honest with you, I have worked with numerous ad tech and digital marketing platforms, which includes all of the platforms in the Google Marketing Platform Suite, as well as I have worked with other platforms from Oracle and from Adobe as well. Now, this particular platform is my favorite because I have given my 3 years of my life and career to this particular platform, and this is probably one of my favorite platforms because it's so interesting. There's so much you can do and this skill set is so niche. So let's directly jump into my laptop and my screen so that I can take you through. Now, this is the first video of this particular series. We will have probably more than 10 videos in this series where we will cover this Google Ad Manager professional course, where we will take you through everything about Google Ad Manager. So just to give you an idea about this course, what you will learn Google Ad Manager, which was formerly called DFP or Double Click for Publishers. You might have heard that name before. And after this course, you will be able to run, optimize, and set up all kinds of monetization deals and campaigns in Google Ad Manager, both in the free version which is also called Small Business, as well as the premium version where you have some additional features and it's a paid tool. Now, in terms of job prospects, there are numerous, but just to give you highlights, like once you know this particular platform, you can work for any publisher in the world because for example, BBC.com, Times, Internet, Truecaller, Spotify, any app or website who show ads on their website because they need teams who can help them monetize their websites and apps and their inventory. And the other prospect would be you can work for technology companies like Google Operations Center. They have this team for Google Ad Manager support team in 8 different locations last time I checked in the world, and they have a team of more than 1,000 people. So there are great opportunities if you're in India, if you're in Dublin, if you're in Shanghai, and if you're in Sao Paulo. There are great opportunities to work for them, as well as Accenture also does consulting on this particular platform for various companies. And you can work for Accenture as well as you can work for other companies. For example, in India, there is Media Mint. There is some other companies I can't recall now, but there are numerous opportunities. And one thing I want to tell you before, if you're interested in this particular course, is this is very niche. Like a lot of people know Google Ads, a lot of people know DV360, a lot of people know Google Analytics, Tag Manager because they are free to access and they have wide use. Obviously, there are more advertisers than publishers in the world, but this is very niche technology. I mean, if you learn this technology, you can count in people in thousands in the whole world who know this particular platform. So there are a lot of opportunities. Now, before we jump into this particular video and the first video of this course, I want to give a big thank you to our sponsor for this particular video, which is App My Site. Using App My Site, you can easily create an app in few minutes and you don't need to know website coding or app development or spend huge amounts on app development teams. I remember like few years ago, if you had to create an app, you needed huge funds, you needed huge amounts of money so that a company will develop it for you. But App My Site has made that easy. I mean, even some of my clients use App My Site to they created apps from their website, and it's amazing how easy it is to create and manage the app using App My Site. I have also linked a video which is an 18 minutes tutorial where they show you step by step how you can build an app from your website. Now, jumping back to our video, this is the first video of the series, as I mentioned before. So in this video, we will know the introduction to Google Ad Manager. I'll give you some basic information here and there. And the agenda for this video is we will know what is Google Ad Manager and why do people even use it. And then we will know how does it fit in programmatic ecosystem and who uses it, what is the eligibility and the billing. Few basic questions here and there a lot of people ask me. And then we will talk about main uses of Google Ad Manager, which should give you a basic idea of what Google Ad Manager is if you don't already know. And then from the second video onwards, we will dig deeper in Google Ad Manager and I will take you through this course. So before we jump, you might have heard different names before, so it's confusing for you. So Google Ad Manager was called DFP, or double click for publishers, before Google changed all the names, like from AdWords to Google Ads. They changed from Google double click bid manager to DV360, and similarly they changed DFP, or double click for publishers, to Google Ad Manager. Even before DFP, it was called Dart for publishers. That is before double click was not acquired by Google. So all this double click technology, it was not created by Google. Google acquired double click as a company, and when this was a part of double click as a company, this product was called Dart for publishers, and Google changed the name several times in this duration. Now, in simple terms, Google Ad Manager is an ad server and ad management tool where people use it on their websites and apps to monetize their websites and to show ads and to manage their ads. To give you an idea, let's say I am a website which is bbc.com. Now, there are two types of ads that show on my website. One is Google AdSense or other ad networks like Yahoo or Facebook shows ads on my website, as well as Samsung can directly approach me and say that, okay, I want to show ads on your website. So as BBC, I have two types of ads running on my website. One is from direct networks like Google, and direct advertisers who want to deal with me. Now, if any publisher who is in this situation, they need an ad management tool or an ad server, which in most of the cases is Google Ad Manager. Now, more details to come on this. I just wanted to give you an idea. Now, where does this Google Ad Manager fit in programmatic ecosystem? Now, obviously, Google Ad Manager is a part of programmatic stack provided by Google. Now, where does it fit? If you look on the screen, now, if you are confused about the basic concepts of programmatic advertising, I have this video here where I talk about everything in programmatic advertising and how it was evolved from scratch. So it will give you an idea about these terminologies like DSPs, ad exchange, SSPs, if you are not already aware. So to give you an idea where it fits, if you know that the programmatic advertising or the display advertising ecosystem looks like something like this screenshot here. Now, there is an advertiser like Apple who want to show ads on websites. Now you might have seen a lot of ads from Apple on YouTube or any other websites. For example, this one is a recent ad from Apple. Now, this is an advertiser. Now, what they want is they at the end want to show their ads on websites here like bbc.com, who have audiences coming to them, right? Now, in between, they use multiple platforms to make this happen. Now, there is a particular platform called Ad Exchange, which does all this transaction, like advertisers book inventory or ad slots, and publishers sell their inventory, which is called an ad exchange. One of the biggest is Google Ad Exchange. Now, to connect to this ad exchange on the publishing side, they need use something called SSPs, or which is also called supply side platform, because they supply inventory, they supply ad inventory or ad slots, they sell them. On the other hand, on advertiser side, you might have heard about a DSP or demand side platform like DoubleClick DV360 or DoubleClick Bid Manager before. Now, DV360 is one of the DSPs which advertisers use. If you are aware about the advertising side, you know that advertisers create campaigns on DV360. But at the end, these campaigns appear on websites like bbc.com. So BBC and other publishers, they connect to this ad exchange in order to sell their inventory using SSPs. And one of the SSPs, probably the biggest, is Google Ad Manager, which is the course, which is the platform for which we created this particular course. So this is to give you an idea that where does this platform fit in the ecosystem of display advertising or programmatic advertising. Now, moving on to show you who uses Google Ad Manager as SSP, because all the publishers need SSPs to make their life simple. Now, who uses Google Ad Manager as their SSP? Now, these are some screenshots. For example, if you talk about BBC, they use this. Now, if you see this screen here, it clearly shows that they have ad slots present on their website, which comes from Google Ad Manager, for which we will go in detail later. This is just to give you an idea how popular Google Ad Manager is. Now, another screenshot here is from the Times of India. They also use Google Ad Manager. If you see these here, they are all the details of Google Ad Manager ad slots on their pages, which the size and all of these details, which you will know later in this course. And even New York Post, they use, these are some of the biggest publishers in the world. Now, you go to almost, I would say, 80 or 90% of the publishers use Google Ad Manager as their SSP. So you should know that how important this particular platform is. Now, to check, if you can check for any publisher you want, probably you're from any country where there is any other website which is more popular. Now, to do this, you have to add GOOG GOOG FC to the end of the website. For example, for BBC, I added, and the final address was bbc.com Goog FC. Now, once you enter this in the URL, if you see these ad slot details and these ones on the website, which means that this publisher is also using Google Ad Manager as their SSP. You'd be surprised to know when you check for any websites, you know of almost 80 to 90% of the publishers use Google Ad Manager, which should give you an idea that how important it is. Now, moving on, how can someone create a Google Ad Manager account? Because I know, like Google Ads, if you know Google Ads or any other platform, you know that you can just go ahead and create it. And in certain cases like DV360 or DoubleClick Campaign Manager or Campaign Manager 360, Search Ads 360, you have to reach out to any Google Ads, any Google authorized reseller of DoubleClick technology. They can create an account for you. I get a lot of requests. I know a lot of resellers now. If you need, just drop me an email. I can help you to get any of the DoubleClick accounts you want. Now, for this Google Account Manager, Google Ad Manager, what happens is anyone who has an approved Google AdSense account can create. Now, any website or app, they generally have an AdSense account. We will cover, probably the next video in this series is going to be about AdSense and how to open an account. But just to give you an idea, the eligibility is anyone who has an approved AdSense account can create a Google Ad Manager account. It's just one button click. Within your AdSense, you have an option where you can open a Google Ad Manager account with a button click. Now, the other question is it paid? Now, it's an amazing tool, but what Google has done is 90 million ad impressions. So if you are a website which serve 90 million ad impressions a month, for you, Google Ad Manager account will be free. In most of the cases, like I'm talking about US, Canada, North America, 90 million impressions are free. So once you cross those 90 million, Google will ask you to create a paid version where 90 million will still be free for you. And if you serve, let's say 100 million impressions a month, you will have to pay a basic minimum CPM fees based on the country you are in for the extra 10 million impressions. Now, in certain cases, the developing markets, in certain countries, there is 150 million impressions monthly are free. And in some countries, 200 million impressions are free. If you want to know about your country, I'll put a link in the description below where you can know that for your country, how many ad impressions are free. But generally speaking, 150 million impressions is a lot of impressions. Like, unless you are very big publisher, you can still use the free account. And if you're serving video impressions through Google Ad Manager, you have 800,000 impressions are free, and after that it will be chargeable. Now, this is just to give you an idea. We will know about all of this in detail, but this is just to answer the basic questions which usually people ask me. Now, this leads us to our next slide, which is why would somebody use Google Ad Manager, or why do companies use Google Ad Manager? The first reason is all the websites in the world, they can be categorized into two categories. One is informational websites about businesses, like a university has a website to provide information to its students or prospect students. The other category of websites is where they create content. For example, the news websites, or any website which provides a coupon code, or any website or a blog, or any website which has or even e-commerce websites. What these companies do is they create this content, these blogs and newspapers and all these magazine websites or informational websites. They create it because they want to generate traffic to their website and monetize it, which means they show ads to the visitors of the website and make money, earn money. Now, some websites might have multiple revenue sources, but in all of those cases, one of the revenue source is the monetization. In these days, even websites like Zomato, the aggregators, or even Amazon, websites like Amazon, they show ads as well. One, they sell the products as well as they show ads. Maybe in most of the cases, Zomato will show ads of only their restaurants, but they show ads as well and make money from it. Only websites, even apps, the games you play. Now, if somebody creates an app or a game, they have two ways to monetize. One is in-app purchases, or they show ads in their free versions and they make money from these ads. Now, in all these cases where a publisher is someone who has content available, who has a website, who has an app. Now, these publishers, they show ads on their websites and their apps, but to manage those ads and integrate seamlessly, they have to use any ad management tool, which in our case is Google Ad Manager, which is used by most of the publishers worldwide. That's one use why publishers use it. Now, further in this course, you will know that how it makes their life easy, ad management easy, but for now, this is more than enough for you to understand why publishers might use Google Ad Manager. Now, the other reason can be, for example, let's say I am timesofindia.com. Now, one way is I create an AdSense account and Google will automatically show ads on my website. But in certain cases, there might be advertisers who directly go to Times of India and tell them that we want to show ads on your website. Now, in those cases, they cannot rely on AdSense only, because AdSense will only show the programmatic ads which Google wants to show. To manage the ads on their website between these ad networks like Google AdSense as well as direct deals, they need something called ad management tool where they can integrate both of these type of campaigns. In those cases as well, that's why publishers use Google Ad Manager. Now, the other use can be to provide reporting. Now, if I am an advertiser, let's say I am ABC Real Estate, I want to show ads on, let's say, Times of India. Now, in that case, when my campaign is running on Times of India, they have to provide me reports. It's very difficult for Times of India to create a manual reporting system that how many ad impressions were served, how many times the video was played, how many people clicked on the ad, and how many people actually filled up a lead form. So to manage all of that, Google has created Google Ad Manager, which helps in all of this. The other use, Google Ad Manager has for publishers, which they use extensively, is called inventory forecasting. Inventory forecasting would mean that, let's say I am any other website, let's say Khalij Times in UAE. Now, let's say they generally get 100,000 users on their website in a month, and they can show 200,000 ads on their website. Now, in that case, what happens is sometimes they have less traffic and sometimes they have more traffic. And to keep a track, let's say they already have 5 advertisers for the next month, which is, let's say, July 2023. Now, they book a lot of inventory. Let's say with someone 1 million impressions, with other people they book like 2 million impressions. Now, it's very difficult for them to keep a track that how much is booked and how much ads they can show. Now, they shouldn't end up in a situation where they book, let's say, 300,000 ad impressions, but actually they can only show 200,000, which is called overbooking. Now, they will not be able to fulfill all the contracts they did. So Google Ad Manager helps in forecasting inventory as well. So, for example, if Khalij Times is using Google Ad Manager, once they create new campaigns in their Google Ad Manager, they can easily check. For example, they got another advertiser. They can easily check that based on the historical data, how many ad impressions they should expect in this month, which is usually quite fairly accurate. And they can also check in Google Ad Manager that how much they have already booked. Now, this was a simple example. Let's say they had some campaigns booked last year for every July for next 3 years, and some booked in March, a summer sale booked by noon.com in April. Now, it doesn't happen every month for the next month. So all of this needs to be taken into account, and the historical data based on what is the trend in this month for last few years. So it takes all of this into consideration, and every time they want to book a new campaign, they can check that how much have been reserved and how much they should expect, how many ad impressions in the next month, which is called forecasting, and it's of a great help to publishers. Now, before we sign off from this video, I just wanted to give you an idea that how does actually Google Ad Manager work. Now, I know that the whole course is about that, but just to give you an idea that how actually it works. So for example, let's say BBC Google Account Manager, Google Account Ad Manager account. This is BBC's Ad Manager account. What they do is they generate something called ad tags, which is like a website, which is like HTML or JavaScript code, and they place it in the backend of their website, in their source code of the website. Now, every website, let's say even bbc.com, they have written it in particular language which has a source code behind. Now, what they do is when they open a Google Ad Manager account, they create something called ad tags. They place these tags. Let's say they want to show 3 ads on their home page. So they will create 3 ad tags and place it in their home page within the code, which is also a code, which will result in creating 3 ad slots. Now, in this case, for example, if you go to bbc.com and you see this ad here, which means that they have created in their Google Ad Manager account, they have created an ad tag placed on their home page on the top, which results in showing an ad on their website. Now, basically, you can put it in like this in stepwise. If somebody wants to use Google Ad Manager account on their website, what they do is first they create the account, then they generate the tags, HTML tags, and put it on their website. And in GAM or Google Ad Manager, they choose traffic campaigns to show ads on these ad slots. In our example, for example, bbc.com will place an ad tag on the top of their homepage like this one, and in their Google Ad Manager account they can choose that which line item or which campaign should serve here. Let's say they have booked a campaign with Samsung, so they can choose that this Samsung campaign should appear on top of this homepage, which is an ad slot generated with an ad tag. Now, that is all for this video. This is the basics of Google Ad Manager, like an introduction. And in the next videos, what you should expect is we will talk about AdSense and account creation of Google Ad Manager account. How do we create an account? And then after that, the third video would be about UI walkthrough of Google Ad Manager account. How does the UI look like and what are the different functionalities? And then we will proceed with this course. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one.